Okay, guys, it's time for day one recap and about to go out to dinner with the guys Oz and Greg with United Home Audio. Maybe I'll wear these tonight. You think so? By the way, did you see the video I uploaded? Don't miss that video where I showcase some of the custom guitars in the marketplace. Well, it's actually in the headphone area. Those were beautiful, just gorgeous. I don't know how much comes across in the video, but I have friends that collect guitars in it. They're actually museum piece guitars that I've seen in their houses. This is right up to that level. So really cool. And you rarely see that at a show. I've never seen handmade guitars, custom guitars at a show. So this has been a unique show. So day one recap is what I'm going to cover right now. And traffic was lighter than what I normally see, even for these shows. But man, it was super enjoyable. And one benefit of a lower turnout than I'm used to is the noise floor was super good, low, and so you were able to really appreciate these systems. And so when I wanted to first talk about were rooms that stood out, and so along those lines, I want to bring up a room that I've seen at other shows this year. In fact, in Florida and Exponent, the VAC and Von Schweikert room. They bring the exact same equipment, although we have a funny story in there. If you watch the whole video, that's one thing real quick. You should watch my entire videos that I upload, because sometimes you may not like the song and you may think that that's what's going to be the rest of the video is just that song. But no, usually I try to do it at the front if nobody's playing music, talk to the people in the room but I don't like to interrupt during a song, so I'll wait till the end of the song and then talk to the people in the room. So sometimes, even if you don't like the song that's being played or you're bored with that part, you may want to fast forward to get some of the interaction I have with the people in the room, because that is a really, for me, even being able to hear the stuff live, I enjoy interacting with the people in the room. And getting to know them, and if I'm going to spend my money, I want to know who I'm spending it with, and just forming those relationships is fun. So I would encourage you to watch the entire videos, or fast forward if you don't like a song that's being played in a particular room, which there were quite a few today that were playing some weird music. I usually don't even say anything, but today I had to, with that one room with the Estalons of all things, great speaker. They were playing like, I don't know what that was anyway. And then they did Keith Go after that. But in any case, that's just the nature of shows. I'll go back to that room so they get a fair shake. But going back to the VAC and Von Schweikert room, that's a room I've seen in multiple shows, and it's good. I probably put it in my top 3 if I recall in Florida. But today, totally different level. And even the guys, when I told them that, they totally agreed as well, that the performance that they're getting out of this room, and again, just the nature of the hotel, noise floor, it was so much more three-dimensional and so much more real. They weren't playing at loud levels, but they played Tin Pan Alley, which I don't really like listening to, but I stayed for the entire song, which you rarely see me do that when they play that. I don't think I've ever recorded a video where I stayed the entire way through Tin Pan Alley. But it was riveting in that I was hearing things that I hadn't heard from that speaker and setup before, and things that were really good, albeit at a lower level. I would have liked to hear it at louder, but I prefer that they do it at these volumes that they're doing them today, because it doesn't overload the mic and give you guys a false impression of clipping and such. So just to give you, it might not come out that dynamic sounding on the recording. Again, I don't even listen to these videos, guys. I just upload them, and you have to listen to them and tell me if you're hearing anything weird. But I'm just telling you, that room was much more impressive than the other 2 shows and would be among my best today. Another room I didn't video because my phone actually ran out of battery. I filmed so much today. Actually, it ran out of battery because I went to the marketplace. You're going to want to watch that video, I think. Again, if you don't want music, I talked to the guys from Kearmoose, I think it's the AVP guy, the guy that does the vibration control at Kearmoose, Gerald with Wally Tools. It was a fun interaction. So that marketplace video was probably one of my favorites. But I was just holding it up while talking to these guys, and that's why you're getting our real-time conversations. No editing, no pre-plan, any kind of presentation. But it went dead while I was actually recording. So later in the day, I went to Joseph Audio Room, which has always been one of my favorites. I've talked about it in my 20, 30 years of going to shows, that the Joseph Audio Room in New York, the New York Hilton in New York, back when Stereophile did shows and gave awards, that still stood out to me even to this day as one of the best rooms I had heard, and how Jeff Joseph runs his room. And today was kind of fun because I went in there after hours, shared that story with him, and some of my subscribers were in there as well, and bonding with them and talking about what we were hearing. And we played some songs. We played Jazz Variant, the one that La Bamba, was a track that I highlighted from the last show in Long Beach. And then also we played St. James Infirmary, which is the song that I remember these Joseph Audio speakers wowing me back in the day. And what was funny is another takeaway that from these shows is that when I go to these shows, I listen for something I don't hear at home, that, oh, this is better than I have at home, and try to find those things. And as I've evolved with my system, it's fewer and fewer times I find something that, is better than I have, because I have some advantages with EQ in my room. But there's still times when I hear stuff at these shows that, man, it stands out. But it's not that often. But when I went to the Joseph Audio and he started playing St. James Infirmary, and I knew he was playing digital because he only had analog tape, and I asked him, did he have it on analog tape? And I knew that analog tape wasn't running. So I thought he was playing the CD version, the streaming version of St. James Infirmary, and there's two of them with Louis Armstrong, two versions, and I know them both very well. And then neither one of them reached the level of the LP that Jeff Joseph used to play at that show I was talking about. But when he was playing it, it was good, and I was like, this is much better than what I have at home. And so I was like, this speaker's good, really good. But I'm not used to it being so much better than what I have at home, especially right from the start in very minor doses. I was wowed immediately. And so part of it is the speaker is a great speaker. The Joseph Audio stuff is great. But then he told me this was a separate recording he did. It's not the streaming version, the CD version that I'm used to hearing, which does have some more problematic areas. So it just brings up a macro point. Sometimes it's the gear, sometimes it's the room. You can't always just castigate and blame things or come to conclusions like the VAC and Von Schweikert. Much better impression here than before, and he was a good impression at other shows, but you get a totally different impression, totally different venue, same gear. Joseph Audio speaker, it wowed me, but the source material was so much better than what I have at home. So you have to always keep these things in mind, all the variables, and not just say this and come to conclusions about brands based on what you hear at the show, because that can change from show to show. Now, another room that stood out, though, that did have some instances where I think, man, this is what I like, number one, right up my alley, and may have some advantages over my Geo Research and Extremes with the REL subs, is the Linkwitz room. Again, doesn't shout the music at you. When you sit down, the music just presents itself. And when he played that Ray Brown trio, and the layering, and just the room played a part in it. It's a bigger room, so it does allow the speakers to breathe and present a different type of sound stage than what I'm used to at home. But man, those drivers that they are using are exceptional, and I think in some respects, on the top end, middle to top end, I think they would be better than my Geo Research and Extremes for Open Baffle. I think I still prefer my Seal Box sub, the REL sub, and the overall sub presentation, base presentation of my Geo Research and Extremes. But let me tell you, if you don't want to build speakers like the Geo Research and Extremes and buy REL subs and do all this EQ and stuff, the Linkwitz is about right up my alley in terms of what I like. Looks wise, it's going to be a different story, but again, also you remember it can do it in Panzerholz, which is another, and that cabinet is totally isolated from the bass module, so you're getting no resonances from any bass drivers impacting anything from the mid-range and tweeter. Very few companies can say that, or they have to build such mammoth enclosures and put so much into the construction of the cabinet that you're paying $50, $60, $80, $100,000 or more to achieve that goal. And it's not 100% isolated like this. So Linkwitz gives my thumbs up. The Alta Audio did not bring their bigger dipoles that I was hoping to see based on the last show. But that is another great speaker. I've seen it now several times. Always sounds good. Another one that you should look at with those Infigo amps. Always impress me, and they did so today. I went into the Genesis room, and that was one that was mentioned earlier in the day. Was super excited to hear. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't blown away by anything I heard today, but both times I went in there, noise floor was super high. There's tons of people in there. There's a column, like, almost in the seating area, and the music they were playing just wasn't conducive, especially at the volumes they were playing, to showcase anything that would wow me at this point. But I'm going to reserve judgment till Steve McCormick comes. We can play some other tracks, maybe have the noise floor a little bit different in there, give that room a fair shake. But for the most part, all the rooms that I featured today, there were a few that had some technical difficulties, but again, I do upload this stuff. I try to go back and give these rooms a fair shake, but I like to show the good and the bad, whatever's happening, not curate things, not sugarcoat things too much, but to show you that these people do have to deal with issues, especially on the first day. Sometimes they're missing equipment, sometimes it's technical difficulties. I'm showing this to you more so you can appreciate the difficulties that they go through, but also it's fair to show what's occurring. What I'm seeing is what you're seeing too. I don't want to sugarcoat things or edit things, but I will try to go back to the rooms that I think may have not gotten a fair shake in my videos. And feel free to leave comments of things that you want to see or anything you want me to go back to. I try to do the best I can. I try to get through the comments while I'm at the show, though it's just very hard, so don't expect replies promptly, if at all, until I can get back and spend more time. So hopefully you enjoy, guys. I'm going out. Hey, got the pants tonight. What do you think? Oh, and you're gonna have the matching shoes, okay? Members will probably get some material later tonight, and the Oz room is going to be doing some tape stuff at 8 o'clock. So we're going to go to dinner first, then we'll have some fun stuff. And so members, stay tuned for maybe some stuff being uploaded tonight. We'll see. All right, guys. See you tomorrow with a lot more.